Hello and welcome to this episode of ISJ's Leaders in Security podcast series. I'm your host, Eve Goode, and I'm the digital content editor of International Security Journal. On today's episode, I'm joined by Kumar Sokka, the CEO of Acre Security. Throughout this episode, we will discuss how changing partner and customer expectations are shaping the company's next phase of growth, the shift towards unified security platforms, and what long-term commitment will mean for partners in the years ahead. Kumar, thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, that's great. It's a pleasure to have you on today's episode. So to kick it off, I wanted to start by asking you, from your vantage point as a CEO, what changes in partner expectations and customer needs most shaped how you think about the next phase of growth?
I had a great opportunity when I first joined officially as CEO, but even before that, when I joined Acre, and also coming from where I joined the industry from a Lenel S2 perspective, is I spent a lot of my time just visiting customers, and that gives you a lot of perspective. So when I mean customers, I mean end users, I mean our integrators, our technology partners. And what we're seeing right now in the industry is this shift into driving technology forward, leveraging cloud, being more easy to do business with. So in terms of partner expectations, when I visited them specifically to Acre and our strategy moving forward, the feedback was really around how do you be more of a partner and how do you listen to them and where they're trying to drive. These organizations are trying to grow as much as possible as well. They're trying to make decisions based on the right technology for their customers. And they also want to drive top line recurring revenue and profitability. So with that being said, we want to make sure that we're help supporting them on being easier to work with, right? Leveraging our integration and solutions to be more supportive of where they want to do from an operations standpoint, meaning being more simple and being more predictable with our delivery roadmaps. And what I mean simplicity is how we work with them. So we just launched a new partner portal where they can have all their information in one source of truth in one place, whether it's training information, whether it's tech support, whether it's pricing. And so that drives simplicity, right? And then when we think about predictability is ensuring that we stick to our roadmap. We have a roadmap for our cloud products as well as some of our on-prem products, and just ensuring that we share the information, we get feedback from them, and we drive clarity on our path forward. And so this year is all about our execution. So ensuring that they know and understand what we're doing and what we're bringing out so they can then deliver the best solutions for their customers. I think the other thing that I learned quite a bit is that a lot of our integrators are driving modernization with their customers, really driving future growth and supporting their customers with what's the next stage of technology. And it's not always easy to do that. So ensuring that we can support them in the modernization, not just about rip and replacing, but also giving them hybrid approaches or commercial programs or services to help them with those integrations, with those modernizations, and with those upgrades. So heavily focused around driving simplicity in how we work together within, improved partner tools, driving predictability with our product roadmap and listening to them, and then really focusing on modernization and that hybrid approach and helping them, the journey with their end users and how to, really get them to move security forward.
So you mentioned simplicity in your last answer, and I think that leads quite nicely into the next topic. So why do you think that the industry is moving away from siloed security systems and more towards unified platforms?
Yeah, I think there is this shift, right? There is this trend and the rate of transformation happening in our industry where people want more data, right? They want more information. And what that does is that gives better outcomes to end users. The more information you have, the more information that's bringing together different aspects of your physical security solution, it drives better results, right? So if you can break silos, if you have one system that is operational across video and access control, intrusion, visitor management, all the physical security solutions in kind of one unified approach, it allows you to have that information, which allows you to do more, whether it's analytics reporting, whether it's leveraging AI to be more predictable or prescriptive. And so what we're seeing in the industry is that a lot of these end users want a lot of, those silos be broken in a lot of ways. But also at the same time, that gives them the simplicity, kind of what I brought back into our integrator approach, is that it gives them one, billing platform that they be charged for, or one contract that to work through. So both from a technology standpoint, breaking those silos allows for better outcomes by having more information. But then two, it also makes it simple to work with as well, just from the back end side of things, whether it's one organization to provide support or one billing platform to make it easier for them on the procurement side as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, from what I've read and the content that I've received, I mean, it's definitely the way forward. And you see a lot more people that are leaning towards integrated security and unified platforms because of ease and convenience. So, moving on from that, I wanted to ask you why you think so many modernization initiatives fail when they rely on rip and replace thinking.
The one, like, rip and replace ends up being a high asset count, right? Like, you have to rip and replace your platform. It's almost installing a new system, not taking account for some of the resilience, the proven technology. It's been there for quite some time. You have all these integrations that you've done. You have a customization that you may have done. So when you rip and replace something, it's installing something new in a lot of cases. So we believe like there is a time and place to do that for sure, if it makes sense, right? But also what we're seeing, and as we listen to our end users and our integrators and our technology partners as well, is that a lot of our customers want to do this over time. It's not so easy. They want to move to the cloud, or they want to move to newer technology. But what makes it easier for them is that these are critical infrastructure systems for, the facilities, their operations. And so it's not so easy to do that, right? And giving them a path forward, whether you have a hybrid solution where you can move your credential information into the cloud and then eventually move your hardware over a longer period of time. I think that's a great strategy, and we're seeing a lot of positive movement across that because you're taking account for what's important to them and moving what's important to them at different parts of time, which makes it, less risky. It makes it more planned. It makes it more understand how you can overcome any obstacles, because it's not just a rip and replace. It's actually understanding what's the installed solution and helping ensure that they get something similar and even something better.
So, keeping on that theme of importance, how important do you think hybrid approaches are?
I think it's extremely important, right? I think moving to the cloud is a journey, right? It's not just a simple step, especially for our industry, because it's a combination of hardware, software, and services, right? You have customization, you have the hardware layer of your controllers and readers and locks and so on, with that infrastructure and all the data points from that standpoint. And so it's not so easy to move all those integrations so quickly. So having the ability, where most of our solutions are already hybrid in general, right? Having the ability to move to the cloud in a hybrid approach allows for that simplicity and movement. But also at the same time, it allows for those customers to move quicker, right? Because they were always scared to move to the cloud. But if you have a hybrid approach, it allows to meet in the middle, and over time, at their own pace, right? They are moving things to the newer technology. And I think, everyone wants a more secure system, and cybersecurity is always a question. So if you do move some of the critical information to the cloud immediately, right, and then slowly move over your other servers and other parts of the system over, it allows for that kind of strategic approach, right? Let's move the high risky things first, and then eventually move the other pieces as we get and build out those integrations, as we build out those customizations. So I think hybrid is kind of where we're seeing quite a bit of movement, but also I think it's going to be here for quite some time, just because there are so many legacy platforms out there that you need to have that approach going into the industry right now to help, move forward.
So, with this approach, can you sort of elaborate on what opportunities would this create for partners?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the major reasons why I joined Acre is because of the partners, right? We have a significant amount of partners, over 2,000 integrators and distributors that we work closely with. And as I learned in our portfolio, we have best of both worlds as well. We have fantastic on-prem systems, and we have best-in-class cloud platforms. And so a lot of our integrators have both those solutions. And what they're seeing is that, customers want to stay on-prem for certain reasons, but at the same time move to the cloud. And we've come up with a solution called the Bridge, which is an ability to have a hybrid approach, ability to move that specific access information to the cloud, leverage the Acre access control platform, which allows us customers to feel like they're getting innovation, right? And that then helps our integrators be able to support where our end users want to go, right? Having tools and solutions like that, like the Acre Bridge, allows them to go to those end users and say, hey, we have a solution for you now. You don't have to just rip and replace. You don't have to take on all those risks. We can move you at your own pace. We can help you get there. And that's a huge answer and a huge unlock for our integrators, right? So for us, it's taking that approach and listening to our customers, listening to our integrators to say, okay, this is what's happening in the market, but now we can help provide solutions to help get there without just totally ripping and replacing. And what's nice is that we can start with our own customers, our own technology to test this, and then eventually take that out to other legacy platforms in the industry.
In a platform-driven world, what capabilities do partners need to develop, and why has enablement, not just technology, become a critical differentiator for vendors?
In a platform industry, I think when I think about integrators and what they got to do to help drive that is think about what type of solutions they can offer, not just implementation, but other type of solutions. Can they help with the integration? Can they help with the customization? We're going to bring out new training tools that allows for integrators to leverage so they can drive a platform approach. So we can train them on not just access control, but our visitor solution, our upcoming video solution, and in the future our intrusion platform. So giving them the training and material that says, hey, yeah, this is not just about installation, but there's above and beyond that you can do, which is bringing these solutions together and then building. We have something called fits packages where we can have customized integrations or customized tools and analytics that they can also build themselves. And what that gives them is the ability to drive differentiation. So with these platforms, they can drive a more holistic approach to the end user. They can drive differentiation by bringing on their own unique solutions, which we're seeing a lot of our integrators or end users do today on our platform. So there's this customization and uniqueness that they can drive that's more value add, that's more outcome based with the end user. And so really being able to drive additional value, I think is going to be significant as you bring on these platforms, because you can do more with it in a combined platform, more than just installation, which is, I think, super exciting, and where a lot of our integrators want to go as they're learning our fits package and our technology to help drive that better solution approach with our customers.
So I wanted to bring up something that you've mentioned in the past. You stated 2026 is about execution. Can you just tell me what you meant by that, please?
Yeah, I think Acre's always in the past been known for bringing on many organizations together. Where we are today is extremely exciting. It's about having a unified platform. It's about having tools to help migrate customers to this new platform. But it's also about ensuring that we're maintaining our heritage, our fantastic on-prem solutions and our install base out there. So we think about, where we are today, where we're going, and what we're trying to do and help support our partners. It's executing across those three areas. We have very specific roadmaps in those three areas of the unified platform, the migration tools and aspects of that, as well as protecting and ensuring that our on-prem platforms have, the refresh, new releases that's coming. And for us, it's about executing on that, not just, saying, but doing. And I think that's a big deal for us. We've invested 30% more in R&D resources. We've unified our back-end systems and our single single ERP, a Salesforce, CRM tool, a new Snowflake data warehouse. With all these different tools allows us to be more systematic and easier to work with the integrators as well, by providing an overarching partner program and a partner portal. So it's not just, we're executing across the board in terms of our product roadmap, but also how we want to drive and be easier to work with. And I think that's super exciting. We're making the investments in those areas. And so for us, it's executing on that, right? It's ensuring that what we're saying and what we're doing are equal, and that our customers will see that difference as well, which is and we're moving extremely fast. And I'm super excited to see all these things roll out. We have a big launches coming out in ISC West and showing our new products and showing some of our new products that are going to come in the future. So it's an exciting time to be a part of Acre.
It definitely does sound exciting. I mean, a lot of people are going to be at IC West. So I just wanted to loop it back to unified security. So can you tell me about how Acre is bringing its platforms together under a more unified vision? And what gives you the confidence that this approach will scale globally while still working with partners of different sizes?
And fantastic question. I think it's also the excitement of Acre. Being able to, when I came from an organization that was just focused on access control, and now coming to an organization where you have a platform is so exciting. We're not just a best-in-class on-prem and cloud platform. We're top 3 market shareholder in intrusion in Europe, right? And then we're also one of the best enterprise identity visitor management platforms that are out there, with the large end user customers. And so what's our position is that we don't have to build these from scratch. These are solutions that have been in the market for years, that have enterprise first mindset customers. And that's our approach. Our approach is make it for enterprise, scale it for everyone. And so with that mindset, we're able to provide solutions across the board. And now we're also bringing out a new video platform. So with the heritage of having a best-in-class cloud access control, cloud intrusion, as well as visitor management identity, and then bringing video, without also being open. We're not just, we're not a closed proprietary system. We have options in terms of our Mercury partnership as well as our smart controller. So we can gauge and be able to support multiple customers across the scale, whether it's small to medium all the way to enterprise. So we're very well positioned to do that. And I think that's what's exciting. We don't have to build new. We're basically integrating and unifying to ensure that our customers have the option to have the best solutions and still being modular. So I think that's what's exciting for us. And I think that's what's super exciting for our integrators is that, with those same customers, you can expand with better solutions or approach new customers with different ways to win. And I think that's super exciting for integrator partners.
So I wanted to finish the podcast off by asking you, when your partners choose Acre, what long-term commitment are you asking them to believe in, and what do you give them back in return?
Yeah, so I mean, there's 2. There's one, obviously, this unified approach, being able to give them, the entire physical security package of solutions. Absolutely, right? And I think technology is one part of it. I think the second part is that we're also, we understand the importance of our partners, and we want to invest with them. And we know that they are also challenged to grow and drive profitability and drive recurring revenue. And I think we're one of the best organizations to help support that. And there's different choices, and we understand that. But we're also investing back into the integrators. We're launching a new partner program where we put together funds where we're releasing marketing development funds. We're putting rebates together and discounts. And this is one of the first things that's happened in North America. We've done this in EMEA, and now we're bringing it to North America. And I think it's saying that not only are we trying to build the best technology platform and give you different ways to win and drive ARR, we also want to ensure that we're investing in you, right? And we know that you're trying to drive growth and you want to drive marketing and you need to drive profitability. And so we're investing in you with our partner program. And then we're also driving the ease of business, right? Making sure that we have one source of truth where we're putting in all the tools to make you successful, whether it's a new quote to a quoting tool that we're going to have launching out later this year, whether it's a new place where they can get all their questions answered around tech support and know where their tickets are. So just across those 3 layers of technology, investing back into them, and as well as providing the right tools to support them, this is our strategy. It's built around our partners, and it's about their success. Because if they're successful, we're successful, and that's not a short-term strategy, that's a long-term strategy. We want to be there with them, and that's what's super exciting, I think, for us, because that is our differentiation, right? Our community is a big part of our differentiation, and we want to make sure that we we support that, we cherish that, and we grow that.
Okay, great. So that's everything. Good luck at IC West. So yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. As a whole, it's a great time to be part of it. There's so many the impact that we have as an industry to society in terms of protecting all these physical assets, good work, things like that is so important. And I think technology is helping drive a new wave of our mission. And so we're glad to be a part of it. And we're glad to support the ISC West that's coming out as well in later in March. So thank you for the time.
Thank you also to our listeners for tuning into this episode of ISJ Leaders in Security podcast series. I've been your host, Eve Goode, and please keep your eye and your ear out for our next episode coming very soon.